welcome to Yer Festival live from the Edinburgh Festival here in 1972. And topical joke there. Actually, that was the first time I ever went up to Edinburgh. I was in a political theatre company called the Really Angry, Sneering, Overacting, Keep Left Theatre Company. You may have seen our punk production of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing called All Kinds of Crap Going Down About Sod All Man. It was a double bill with the two bourgeois bastards of Verona. And eventually we got an Arts Council grant to disband. But I've been watching the news this week and, you know, watching the television, looking for material. And oh God, names slipped my mind, because I tell you, I've got a terrible memory. I've got a worse memory than Arthur Scargill. I really, really have. What's the name of that really famous golfer who's on all the time at the moment on the TV? Anybody, could you remember his name? Ah, George Bush, that's the one, yeah. Yeah. Playing golf the whole time. I understand why George is playing golf, so that, you know, he shows he's relaxed and calm in the crisis. But let's face it, it's going to be bad publicity for him if he gets stuck in a bunker. I can't get out of the sand! I can't get out of the sand! Oh, God. I tell you, though, it scares me, this golf crisis. It really does. And I think not only is it going to have an effect on the oil shortage in this country, it's also going to have an effect on the water shortage, you know? Or is it just me who spends half an hour in the toilet before every new bulletin? It really frightens me, you know. I'm just watching George on the TV and I'm just thinking, please don't use the word declare, because I know what the next one's going to be. I don't want to hear it. You know, it's making me nervous. I was listening to the cricket about 10 days ago. Brian Johnston turns to Fred Truman and says, well, Fred, do you think that the English are going to declare today? Oh, no, please, I don't want to hear that. But you know the person in the whole world who was most furious when the Iraqis went into Kuwait, more than anyone else? Kate Adie. Why? Because she was in Trinidad. She was mad. This is Kate Adie, the toughest reporter in the BBC. What do you mean I'm third item on the news? And now, of course, she's in Jordan, and I think the moral of that is that if you're on holiday anywhere in the world and Kate Adie checks into your hotel, time to go. The weird thing about this Iraqi crisis is even impinging on the consciousness of performers here in Edinburgh. They're normally just worried about their show and where they can get another drink, you know. And I was talking to people today, I was saying, you know, what if the Third World War starts out of this Gulf crisis? And they're saying, yeah, it'd be terrible. It'll probably have an awful effect on our audience figures. So, anyway, I'm going to bring on the first act of the show now for you, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to go wild, raise the roof, rattle the rafters. Let's hear it all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Three funny blokes with their jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's hear it.
Coming soon to a cinema near you, a gut-wrenching war drama. To the war they said could not be won, they sent the men they said could not win it. And they were right. Cliché Squad. You'll love them, you'll hate them, you'll really hate them. These are the men now. Cliché Squad!
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Arnold Richboy III. I'm from one of Boston's finest families. I've never led a group of men in a combat situation before, but my dad was a colonel, and he says this war will make a real man out of me. Huh?
Sergeant Leo Rockjaw! I gotta lead this bunch of green-ass recruits because I'm a veteran of Vietnam, the Falklands, Korea, WW1, WW2, the WWF, Waterloo, the Battle of Hastings, and I bashed up Phil Weigel in second form. I knew Lieutenant Richboy's father, and I'm going to make a man out of that kid if it's the last thing I do.
Hi, I'm Porky Peterson, company chef. I'm so fat and jovial, you just know I'm gonna die. Hey, Sarge, Lieutenant, look, I make these here harmony grits out of bamboo shooting dirt. Bang! Oh my God, Sarge, he's hit, Peterson's hit. What do we do for supper? What did my dad think?
Pull yourself together, kid. The fag was fat and jovial. He knew the risks. Anyway, what would your old man say?
I can't. I'm just so scared. I'll never be a real man. Thanks, Sarge. You made a real man out of me. I say we leave the loser here.
Your dad'd be proud of you.
Lieutenant Cliché Squad! Hi, I'm Private Adidas. I'm an all-American track and field star from the University of Illinois. Gee, I sure hope I don't get a bullet lodged in my spine causing me to become a paraplegic and spend the rest of my days in a wheelchair cutting short my brilliant career as an athlete.
Hi, I'm Private Frady Cat. I pretend to be sick a whole lot so they won't have to go fight. You don't have to like me if you don't want to.
I'm Father Old Padre. I'm a man of the cloth, but I'm handy with me fists.
Oh, Mom, Dad, tarantula, refrigerator, get it up!
Oh, Father, oh, Padre.
Yes, son.
I have these terrible dreams, Father. I just can't sleep.
Well, neither can we. Private Adidas, we need a volunteer to run up and bring us back some extra men.
I'll go, Father. I'm a real neat runner. What a coincidence.
Oh, dear God, don't let a bullet be lodged in his spine, cause him to become a paraplegic, spending the rest of his days in a wheelchair.
Bang! Oh, my legs. I can't feel my legs.
Oh, no. Don't tell me.
Yes, I've had my hams blown off.
Cliche Squad! Yo!
Ladies and gentlemen. Yes. I'd like to do a quick impression. This is an impression of me drunk watching the television news with Colonel Gaddafi on. Blimey. Lionel Blair's put on some weight. Now, you've all heard of the Perrier Awards, right? Yeah? Well, you may not have heard about the Snakebite Awards. So with the details, we're going to go over now to Malcolm Hardy.
This meeting to order now. Here we are, we're ready to go. Well, welcome panellists to the 3rd annual Snakebite Award. You all know what the Snakebite Award is. It's an award given by me. This year there's a big cash prize, £1,000, to find the worst cabaret on the Fringe. We're only 3 days into the festival, so I don't suppose anyone has seen anything yet. I did see something last night, actually, at the Salamander Club. And I think Sarah, one of the panellists here, has seen something too, haven't you, Sarah?
Yeah, I saw the Cunning Linguists, which is a medical review, which is bottom-clenchingly bad. So that's worth a look if anybody fancies seeing that.
Lovely. So what I'm going to do now is give out these passes, and these passes for the Snakebite Award, you can actually get in anywhere with them. Last year I got into the Japanese ballet. Just say you're a reviewer, they don't know what the Snakebite is anyway, so I'll just get these all out. They've all got names on, probably the wrong names, but it doesn't matter. There we are, that one says peanuts on it, I believe, doesn't it? Or Hugh Jars. A few cards around this way. Pass those around amongst yourselves. All the panellists here are either performers or they're producers, they've been around. And what we do, over the next week, we all go and see at least one show. You're free to see more. You're not allowed to nominate your own show, unfortunately, but you can nominate your friends. And next Tuesday, we're going to meet at the Salamander Club, the place I went to last night, which is probably the worst place in the world, at 2 o'clock. And we discuss the shows we've seen, and between ourselves, we'll pare it down to a short list of 5. We'll all go and see those 5 shows, and then at the end of the festival, on the Thursday or the Friday, we will give the award on stage to the worst performance on the Fringe. See you next Tuesday at the Salamander Club.
Malcolm Hardy there with the Snakebite panel, and apparently at the moment, Up Your Festival is 7-1 on to win the Snakebite Award. But now, what price TV comedy? Yet another in the never-ending series of open forums on the state of television today. Wow. With me is Gareth Jackland, head of Red Braces at BBC Television.
Hello.
And on my right, Jane Eyre.
The delightful Jane Eyre.
Yes, quite. Star, of course, of the new smash hit sitcom, Joint Alzheimer's. So, can we have the first question, please, which comes from a Ms. Emma Bitter, who's an unemployed, well, she's just unemployed, yeah?
Yeah. Why are there no sitcoms about a woman who lives in a bedsit in Daventry and has no friends because she has halitosis?
Thank you, Ms. Bitter. Gareth?
Well, the simple and basic answer there is, well, we've never been offered one.
Yes, you have. I sent you one from my bedsit in Daventry. You just stole my ideas and called it Blackadder.
I think that's really funny.
Thank you, Janie.
Thank you, Janie. Tell me, Gareth, what attempts do you make to encourage new work at the BBC?
Oh, well, we've had some very successful new shows. Look at That Was the Week That Was.
I thought that was really funny.
But we have a saying in television, comedy is a serious business.
Your bloody shows are.
But the basic rule is if it's funny, it'll probably get on.
And if it's not funny?
Oh, it'll definitely get on.
So what is funny? Jane, your sitcom is about a hospital for terminally ill patients being situated next to a stripogram office, and you keep going in the wrong door, bursting into the cardiac arrest ward, stripping off and doing jokes about having a stroke.
I think it's really funny.
Sorry, could I just say something? I had a long, hard talk with the writers there. I remember I said, another brandy? And they said, well, only half a pint, and then we'll go to Groucho's. So.
Yes, well, I suppose it's only a matter of time before we see a sitcom where Charles Manson, Peter Sutcliffe and Dennis Nielsen live in a flat together called 3 Up, 2 Under the Floorboards.
Yeah. Great, we'll commission that one. That's got a series there. Excuse me, a word with Jean.
Well, sadly, that's all we've got time for on the gentle art of how to get a leading part in a television sitcom. So now we're going to find out how the festival is treating the Bournemouth University media students. Over now to David Cliche.
Edinburgh. Everywhere you look, a festival feast, a cavalcade of comedy, a something of plays. In this city, everybody is a star, and the streets are paved with concrete. But, as our intrepid students soon found out, the artistic plaudits are not enough. What matters most is bums on seats. At the Fringe office, Penny and Brian are competing with the rest of this wacky town to get an audience.
Come to, our theatre, come to, our theatre, come to, our theatre, venue 99. Come to, our theatre, come to, our theatre, come to, our theatre, venue 99.
You've been here, Penny, Brian, for 3 hours now. Do you think you've achieved a lot?
Well, we're pretty exhausted, but I think we managed to persuade quite a lot of people to come along.
I think there'll be quite a few people at the theatre when we get back there.
Hi, we're Bournemouth University Media Society, and we just wanted to know how many tickets we sold for Gerard Thatcher.
Okay. So you've only sold 1 ticket for Thursday the 30th?
David Cliche, Up Yer Festival, Kuwait.
So, having a good time? Yeah? No? Yeah. You see, there's people watching in the studio. Don't worry. Investors in BSB, you'll get your money back eventually. So, of course, the big story this week, wasn't it, was this thing about they're introducing dog toothpaste. Did you see this? Toothpaste for dogs. Like, why? You know, I mean, do people go around like French kissing the spaniel and thinking, his breath tasted really bad last night. Got to go. Maybe we're going to have adverts, you know, to give. Maybe it's all to give dogs the fresh breath ring of confidence when they go out on that all-important first date. I don't know. You know, you have a couple of Alsatians talking, saying, "Well, Rex, how was that cute little French poodle you took out last night?" "Well, Bob, her anus tasted great, but her breath was bad." There's a floor manager down here passing out because he didn't know I was going to do that guy. The next one's worse. Because how do you give toothpaste to a dog? I guess through a suppository on another dog, huh? So how are we doing on time here? Because it's live, you see, and it's what time is it? It's 11:15. Do you want me to introduce the next act? Or carry on? What do you think? Yeah, okay. So, Lord Denning, why didn't they bury him when he died? Anyway, last night Bob Down met Clive Anderson in the Fringe Club bar, so let's see who he's meeting tonight for another in-depth showbiz interview on the monitors any second.
Hey, presto! Give us a kiss, honey.
Yeah, darling, mwah, mwah, darling, darling.
Oh, a Mayfair cocktail kiss time. Okay, let's have some close-up.
You want some close-up?
Yeah, where are you working this year?
Done up. Where are at the DeMarco Galleries?
Oh, right.
In the midst of all of that artistic creativity.
Oh, it's wild. Love it.
It's full of
magic among the cobblestones.
Well, yes, exactly, and pure magic. Do you have an empty beer bottle?
An empty beer bottle. Can we have an empty beer bottle?
Do you have an empty an old Tempenny Pizza?
Crew, an empty beer bottle, please. Oh, here we go. Thank you very much.
The crew have got lots of beer bottles.
It's a gold beer bottle. Will that do?
Do you have a tenpenny piece?
A tenpenny piece, a tenpenny piece.
This
is insane. This is magic. It's happening. It's wild. It's wild.
Look, a tenpenny piece coming in from off camera.
That was from the sound man.
Oh, from a sound man. Yes, from off camera. It's all right. We've got one from the sound man. Right. Can I borrow your hand for a minute? We'll get it back. It's all right. She didn't want to be on cut. Never mind. Come over here. Look. Hold the bottle around the neck like that. Hold it there like this. Take 10 nips like a 1, 2, like that. There's. See, look in here. You see, look in. You see.
That is pretty bloody amazing, Faye. You are
I'm
fantastic.
The extraordinary thing is it won't come out of the bottle. The only way to get it out is not through the neck at all, because it won't. Bob, tap the end twice. Watch the sound man head for the floor for his 10-penny piece even now.
We didn't catch that. I'll just try that again. Amazing. We'll dub that in later, Faye. That was truly amazing. And is that the only trick in the show?
Oh no, we've got an hour and a half of tricks and magic. We have trapeze artists, stilt walkers, we have aeroplanes flying across the roof of the theatre. Harvey is flying the aeroplane across the roof of the theatre.
You gotta see Harvey.
He has his own little car which he drives off stage in, and his own sound effects track and everything. Yes, he's becoming a bigger star.
As always, lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
We're going to have some tea at the Caledonian too.
We're going to have tea in my soiree. Come to my soiree. Afternoon tea in Moray Place.
Only the nicer fringe artists need applause.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Thanks,
darling, lovely. Mwah. Mwah. Darling, darling.
Thanks, Bob Down. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very special moment for you. We are very privileged to have with us here in the studio, making his first public appearance since his arrest by the US government. Please welcome former dictator of Panama, General Manuel Scarface Noriega. Yes, go crazy.
Okay, all right. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, my friend. Hey, how you doing? Okay. Hey, lighten up, man. It's not a funeral. It's okay. And you're beautiful. I like you. How you doing?
General, Matt Quartermain from the Washington Post. Sir, why have you called this press conference?
That's a very good question, Matt. I'm glad you asked me this question. I call this press conference today, ladies and gentlemen, for one reason. I'm in some very deep shit. And I figure maybe we can help each other out. You know, you people write some nice things about me, and who knows, maybe tomorrow you can play with your children. Yeah.
General Matt Parkinson from the Dundee Courier. General, during your term as leader of the Panamanian regime, you're accused of heading nothing more than a puppet government. How do you...
Hey, what puppet are you talking about? What puppet are you talking about, my friend?
Well, General, your Minister for Defense, Sooty.
Okay, so there's one puppet there, man. It's not like we got the whole of Sesame Street running around.
Yes, General, your Minister for Culture was Basil Brush.
So what?
Well, he's a puppet too.
Basil Brush is a puppet? Hey, fog me, man. I thought it was a real fox. Hey.
General Matt Quartermain from the James Last Big Band Courier. Sir, you've been indicted on charges of massive cocaine importation. How do you respond to these charges?
I'm glad you asked me that question, man. I want to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know nothing about no drugs, okay? I mean, one time at a party, my brother, he gave me a little joint, man, and he did nothing for me.
So just the one time, General?
Yeah, just that one time. I remember it because it was exactly the same time. He also gave me a little line of speed and some coke and some uppers, some downers, some blues, some reds, some crystal methadone, a little chloronovohydrate, and half a bottle of Perrier water, man, but he did nothing for me.
General Matt Parkinson from the Christ on a Bike Times. General, the people of Panama gave you the popular nickname of Potato Head.
Hey, just a minute, my friend. Nobody ever fucking called me Potato. Nobody called me Potato Head, ever. It was Mr. Potato Head.
General Matt Quartermain from the Cheese and Bicky Times. Sir, you and your staff, we're wondering if you ever personally used cocaine.
Hey! I already told you once, my friend, I don't know nothing about no drugs. Everybody's asking me all the time, do you take drugs? Do you sell drugs? Well, I am telling you, no. I have got a family, man. I got a wife and a little baby. I got no time to be taking drugs. Why can't you ask me something else? Why can't you ask me about my hobbies?
Okay, General, what are your hobbies?
Drugs. But I'll tell you something else, my friend. This press conference is over, but I want to ask you something now, my friend. Where I come from, a lot of people say to me, hey, General, you're one funny guy. So I want to ask you something, my newspaper friend. How many kilos of cocaine does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know, General. How many?
How many do you want? Thank you very much. Good night.
Three blokes and their jokes, ladies and gentlemen, performing at the Gilded Balloon. And now we're going to cover an aspect of the Edinburgh Festival that rarely does get covered. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going over live now to the Slug of the Year show on the VT.
Hello.
Any second now.
And it's been a marvellous day here, so let's get straight underway with the toughie, the 18-inch sprint. And in lane 1 is a slug. And next to him from Sweden is Sven the Slug. And on the outside in lane 3 is Sebastian Coe. That's Sebastian Coe the Slug, not to be confused with the other Sebastian Coe, who isn't a slug. He's more of a slimy little worm. And it's neck and neck now. It's still anyone's race. Oh my goodness, a slug has won it. No, just a moment. He's been disqualified. He's failed the dope test, which leaves it to Sven and Sebastian Coe to slug it out in the next heat. The intelligence round. This is a tricky one for tonight's slugs. They have just 30 seconds to assemble these components into an Epson mainframe IBM compatible RS232C interface computer. Let's see how they got on. First Sebastian and Sven. And look at that! Sven got there in the end, which means it's all down to the next round. So, this is it. The final heat. The notorious assault course. The assault course is different from the race course. This time the slugs have to negotiate a psychotic gardener with a bloody huge shovel. And they're off. And this is going to be a sudden death payoff. And Sven is in trouble. Yes, it's all over for Sven. So the 1990 Slug of the Year is Sebastian Coe. Well done, Seb.
Just in case any of you at home are worried, they weren't real slugs, okay? They were made of plasticine. I ate the real ones at lunchtime. I just got carried away. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring on the final act of the show now. He's performing at the Tunnel Club up at the Pleasance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tumultuously to the stage, Mr. Bob Dillinger. Enjoy. Let's hear it now.
Oh, nice to be here. Don't panic, I'm not a folk singer, right? Quite time to music what Linda McCartney is. We'll start with a song which is a tribute to all those performers who give the time and talent to good causes. It goes like this. Paul McCartney got a call. Do you fancy getting a band together for a tribute to John? He said, what, John Lennon? I said, no, John Craven. You should do news round. Good mate of Noel Lennon. Well, I've got to know who they are. Who have you got on guitar? So we've got Keith. He said, what, Keith Richards, the legend of rock? I said, no, Keith Chegwin, star of Cheggers Plays Pop. So I'm not too sure. Who have you got on keyboards? So we've got Elton. He said, what, Elton John, the Rocket Man? He said, no, Elton Wellesby. Does these sports program. He says, well, who have you got singing for this great group? He said, we've got Andrew. He said, what, Andrew Ridgeley used to be in Wham? He said, yeah, that's right. Well, it's a great life, rock and roll. I've been doing it now for 8 years, and the other day I made a list of all the women I've been to bed with since I've been a rock and roll star. I've got it with me, and this is it, in alphabetical order. Zoe. That was a good one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to finish off with a little song which is dedicated to another wonderful lady called Edwina. Don't know how you feel about Edwina Curry up here, but where I come from, she's not very popular. Like she says, us people in the north don't eat the proper foods. It's all right for her. If she wants fresh yogurt, all she has to do is look at a pint of milk. So you probably guess from the tone that it is a bit of a nasty song, which is a nasty woman and she deserves it, so I don't care. So song to Edwina, it goes like this. Edwina Curry bought her kids a rabbit. They called it Bunny and they kept it fed. And then one day when they were at school, Bunny the rabbit dropped dead. Mr. Curry said, Edwina, don't worry. You stay out of sight. When the kids come home, I'll break the news and everything's going to be all right. So the kids came home and Mr. Curry said, kids, it breaks my heart a lot to tell you that Bunny's dead. And the kids said, so what? Mr. Curry said, kids, I don't think you heard the news I had to bear. I said, Bunny's dead, and the kids said, we heard you, we don't bloody care. So Mr. Curry, he got quite angry, and his face, it grew bright red, and he screamed at the top of his voice, Bunny's dead! The room filled with dread, and the kids started to scream and bawl and bang their heads on the wall, Bunny's dead! We thought he said, Mummy. Finish off now with a little sing-on from Listen to the Chorus. England's a bitch when you ain't born rich. You've got to work till 6 before you face rich. Your jobs are few, so you join the queue, and then you've nothing to do except spoil the view. So you're hanging round the streets instead, trying to kill Bunny, but it won't stay dead. You spend your night in a pub on a fight, falling behind, dropping out of sight, losing friends because poverty offends. Beauty's phony, but ugly's lonely. Cigarettes burn all the money you earn. You start thinking of survival in prison terms. But crime doesn't pay, it steals. Money doesn't talk, it deals. Soon with the warrants, the badges and shields. You bundle in the back of a car, then the law goes to fire. again, scan the station yard and drunk to charge. All report to special call where views decide to be fine next time. That's been done in 20 pounds. England's a bitch from here, but that's the chorus, right? I just did the verse and then we're back to the... Oh, yes, it is. Very funny. I think that's it. I'm going now. Thanks for having me. You're great.